Travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Obviously, there are pros and cons to each. However, when Ro and I were first searching for an RV, we settled on a travel trailer for a number of reasons. However, in this video, I'm going to share with you some ugly truths of travel trailers. My name is David, this is Sweetie, and Ro is actually gone all week for a bachelorette party. Lucky her, so it's just me and the pets in this one. I do love our travel trailer. However, if I'm being honest, a Class B motorhome sounds so nice and I fantasize about it a lot. And the first ugly truth is one of the main reasons I fantasize about a nice small Class B, and it's that the turning radius on a travel trailer is awful. And so if you need to turn around inside of a campsite, then you're gonna need that campsite to actually be pretty dang big, much larger than you need just to fit your rig inside of. And we actually run into this problem pretty often out in the national forests. Like, we could pull or we could back our travel trailer in. However, it would be really difficult to get it out for whatever reason. We've ran into this random problem a lot, especially in one of our favorite campsites that we stay at in Utah. The campsite is big enough for like 2, maybe 3 rigs, but it's just not large enough for us to comfortably turn our travel trailer around in. So to be able to have it face the way that we want to, because we have solar up on the roof of our trailer, and we want to kind of orient our trailer with the sun a specific way to maximize the amount of solar we can bring in. We actually have to pull into the site and then turn the trailer around so that the front of it is facing out. And to be able to do this, we have to do this sort of funky method where we pull in and we jackknife the truck as much as we really can, then we unhook the truck in the trailer, and then we back the truck back up to the trailer in a different position so that we can then pull out. And we've actually shared this sort of fun method or funky method before in another video. And it was like a little tip we had for other travel trailer owners. But yeah, with a Class B or some other type of motorhome, we could just kind of do like, sort of that 3-point turn or however many random points you need to be able to turn around. But when you're towing a trailer, you can't do that. You can't just like pull forward a little, back up, pull forward a little, back up, just because it doesn't work that way. The next thing is that for a travel trailer, your total rig length is always going to be longer when compared to similar sized fifth wheels and motorhomes, because a fifth wheel overhangs the truck bed a little bit, resulting in a shorter total rig length. And then of course a motorhome is going to be shorter because there's no tow vehicle. And this has been a problem for us a number of times trying to get into some like tighter national forest campsites, or we just can't even get to some campsites because our total rig length is too long, or when, it combined with what I was just talking about with the turn radius not being able to be tight enough, we can't take certain turns tight enough that we can't even get to certain campsites. Whereas if we had a fifth wheel, shorter rig with a tighter turn radius, or even especially, a Class B motorhome, we could definitely get to just about any site and also be able to comfortably fit into them. Another ugly truth about travel trailers is that they're gonna have these sliding type windows. All but one of the windows that open on our travel trailer slide either vertically like this one or horizontally, and they will stick if not properly maintained, especially this one. This is the #1 culprit, but that's where this video sponsor comes in. 3-in-1's Window and Track Dry Lube. 3-in-1 RV Care Window and Track Dry Lube dries to a clear, long-lasting, solid film of lubricant to keep windows and doors running smoothly. It doesn't attract dirt or debris and safeguards against rust and corrosion. It's safe for use on metal, wood, vinyl, and most plastics, and is ideal for use on tracks, jams, rollers, frames, and hinges. Now, the way we use this is that we just spray it on any surface that our window makes contact with. So I just spray up into the slides on the side, the slide here on the bottom, and the slide on this side. And that is it. Now this window will no longer stick when opening and closing. Another ugly truth about travel trailers is that when you're towing them, you're going to have less control on the road in an emergency situation when compared to a fifth wheel or a motorhome itself. And that's just because of how a travel trailer hooks up to the tow vehicle. It's a bumper pull. And so you're naturally just going to have less control than a fifth wheel that attaches to the tow vehicle closer to its center of gravity and applies the weight from the trailer to a more central position that more equally loads the front and rear axles of the tow vehicle. And then of course a motorhome is all self-contained. You're not towing anything unless of course you've got a towed behind you, a vehicle that you are towing. But even in that situation, typically that vehicle is pretty small and fairly light when compared to like a large fifth wheel or travel trailer. And so, you know, you're just going to have less control over your entire rig, especially at highway speeds, than other types of RVs. Now you can rectify this situation a little bit with a weight distribution hitch with sway control. But the fact still remains that it's just not as controllable of a sort of rig geometry with where it hooks up and how it applies the weight to the tow vehicle. Another ugly truth about travel trailers is that your setup and teardown times are almost always going to be longer when compared to a motorhome, especially a nice small Class B, which is what I want. And we know this because we have caravan with Thomas and Stacy from I'm Not Lost, I'm RVing, and at the time they had a Class B, and then we caravan with them again after they got a Class C, and their setup and teardown times are so much faster than ours. It's crazy. They can just like roll into a site and they're ready in like 10 to 15 minutes. And it's just because there's not that much to do outside or inside, but outside's the big one. Whereas with a travel trailer, you know, there's just so much more. There's putting the stabilizers down. There's leveling takes a lot longer, hooking and unhooking the tow vehicle. There's just a lot more to do. And on the inside, you have to secure stuff a lot more because these travel trailers just shake around like crazy because there isn't an automotive suspension on them. Whereas in a Class B and a Class C, you know, they've got nice automotive style suspensions, so they just don't shake around like mad like the inside of travel trailers do. And Ro and I have timed ourselves, and if we're really booking it, if we've got some serious hustle going on, we can set up in about 30 minutes, but sometimes it can take us as long as an hour. So on average, I'd say we're at about 45 minutes, whereas we watch Thomas and Stacy with their Class B and their Class C get ready in 10 or 15 minutes. And this is a big deal sometimes because we've rolled into campsites right at dusk as the sun was setting, and you know, daylight just fades really quick at those times, and by the time we were finished setting up, it was completely dark, and you know, I had the headlamp on outside so I could still see. And then also in the mornings when, you know, we just want to wake up and leave, we have to finish tearing down the rig. And so we lose some of that time in the morning when we could be traveling, rolling down the road. We do mitigate that a little bit as much as we can by getting whatever we can ready the night before, but it still takes us longer to leave than if we had a Class B. Another bummer about travel trailers is that you have less storage in the rig itself than in motorhomes and fifth wheels. Fifth wheels and motorhomes are both known for their ridiculous amount of storage space. I mean, think about any Class A motorhome that you've ever seen. They've just got bay upon bay all along the side. It's insane. And then fifth wheels almost always have that massive pass-through storage bay up front. Our travel trailer does have a pass-through storage bay, but it's pretty small compared to just about any fifth wheel we've seen. Even the smaller fifth wheels that are comparable length to our travel trailer just have the pass-through storage up front is probably at least twice as big as ours. Now, I will say that we make up for a lot of the lost storage space because of having a travel trailer just by the travel trailer hooking up to the bumper, meaning our entire truck bed is storage space, and we utilize it by having a camper shell on our truck. If we had a fifth wheel, we couldn't do that, but Class A motorhomes definitely kick our butt in storage space. And then the last frustrating thing about having a travel trailer as opposed to a motorhome is that your vehicle has to be a truck. You have to tow the thing, and so for a travel trailer that is the weight that ours is, we have to have a 3/4 ton pickup. Now, I mean, if you have a small, like a really small travel trailer, you could get away with having a tow vehicle that was maybe more fun, more nimble. Pretty much what I'm griping about is that I want a Jeep. Our friends Thomas and Stacy, who I mentioned earlier, have a Jeep. It's small, it's nimble. This thing is awesome. And especially when you're in the Moab area or something like that, where there's just tons of off-roading stuff available, I just want a Jeep so bad. I mean, our truck has nice high clearance, but it is a long bed diesel. The thing is super heavy, so you can't really go quick down these off-road trails. You gotta go kind of slow because there's a lot of mass you're throwing around. Plus, our truck bed is just full of junk, and I don't want to bash all of that around too much and damage it. And like I said, our truck is a long bed pickup, so it's pretty easy to, what's it called? When, if you drive over a hump, you can hit something in the middle because the truck is just so long. You can hit the underbody, whereas in a shorter Jeep, you won't have that issue. And I'm just really jealous of everyone that has these awesome, nimble, small off-roading machines. And if we had a motorhome, then we could either tow that vehicle behind us or we could just drive it separately. But we could technically do that same thing now, but then we have two vehicles and a trailer, and now we're just getting a little absurd, whereas that would make a little more sense with a motorhome. So that has been the ugly truths to having a travel trailer as opposed to a motorhome or a fifth wheel. Like I said, I do love our travel trailer for many, many reasons that we've talked about in a lot of our videos. However, I do really yearn for that Class B, that small, nimble RV that we could take literally anywhere. We could get to all these really remote campsites that are just locked away and prohibited from us going to because our rig length is too long, or, we don't have the turning radius necessary to get to it. And that's the biggest thing for me, honestly, is those super remote sites. Think about it. A Class B, lifted, 4-wheel drive, diesel, one of those decked out overlanding type Sprinter van things. That is my dream, my fantasy. But, oh well, we've got the travel trailer, and for the most part, it does work for our lifestyle. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. What type of rigs do you guys have? Travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, something else? Let me know what the pros and cons of what you have are. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Sweetie girl, did you want to say bye? You look like you're falling asleep, pup. Say bye. Good girl, good girl.